Hello and welcome to my heavy metal kitchen. I'm going to be talking today about the latest book from Jack Russell, the late Jack Russell, singer of Great White. Very popular band, mostly in the 80s, and I think most people know who I'm talking about. I have loved this band since 1987 when I discovered them on Headbangers Ball doing Rock Me. Loved that. And I've also loved all their stuff. This book, I think it took 3 years to write. It was written by KL Doty, and she has some kind of connection to rock, but went all the way in school and really is a good writer here. She really captured the essence of Jack and what he was and what he would have said, and Jack approved of it. And sadly, I ordered this book when he was around. I didn't know that he was in that bad a shape, but he had died after I ordered it, which was quite shocking. Not expecting that at all, because the guy was touring up until last summer or early this year, and he always sounded great. He was just one of those gifted musicians that was blessed with a voice, And they say you can learn to sing, but I think a lot of it is something genetic, something you're born with. And it was a very good book. I don't want to give too much away, but it starts out when he was a child growing up in California, just outside of LA, Montebello. He got in some trouble, substance abuse problems, which they go through, and just how his relationship with the other guys in Great White, and Dante Fox and the whole scene. There's a good section of this that talks about when he meets David Lee Roth for the first time. It's pretty fun, and there's some great stories. So even if you're not really a Great White fan, this is a good one to check out. On a sad note, I'm sure you're expecting they're going to go into the whole incident with the Station nightclub. On a personal note, I was living in White Plains at the time, and I was supposed to go to that show. It was on a Thursday night, and I was meeting up with some friends in Connecticut, and we were going to travel up, see him over in Rhode Island at the station. And thank God, one of my friends flaked out, and I said, well, I'm just going to stay home. And thank God I did, because who would have known? And poor Jack had to live with that guilt, even though it wasn't his fault, It's not like he set it off or even knew, There's lots of people that are in charge of that stuff. I think it was something that Jack carried with him for a long, long time. No doubt he did. And I told this story before. He used to roam the halls of the Sheraton, which is where we stay at M3. He wanted a cigarette so bad, and I have one in the morning. I've always done that, and he caught me outside. He was just, can I please have a cigarette? And I gave him one. And it's quality of life, like I always say. And we took a picture together, and this is probably, you can tell that this is genuine because he was really happy here. You see he's cupping his hand. I'm glad I was able to make him happy. You can see it from his, from the picture. And he had a great wife, Heather. She took really good care of him, and a lovely person, lovely couple. Great band in general, the other band members. I talk a lot about Shadow and the Thrill, Tony Cardenas Montana, who's in that band, doing a tribute to the whole Jack thing. See, if you knew Jack, and Tony made a very good statement about it, that Jack was always had the mindset that, well, if you're not ready to take the wheel, give it to someone else. You got to keep going. And that was kind of the way he was. I thought Tony was good at getting that across. They're not doing this to cash in. People love the music of Great White, and I'm glad they're keeping it going. But I would say I love that first EP, and it would be cool if they would put in some of those songs. But we'll see how it goes. Jack Russell's Great White, and I can't remember what they're going to call it, but certainly he had a great group of guys playing with, especially Tony, who, like I said, he started out as a bass player and is the guitar player. And if you haven't heard of his band, Shadow and the Thrill, you really should. They're great, and I think they're going to be playing next month in Illinois, outside of Chicago. And gosh, I wish I lived a little closer because I would totally go. I saw his band last year, and it was just amazing. In fact, I got to interview him too on my channel. He was nice enough to talk about the songs on his Shadow and the Thrill album, which I think is the most kick-ass album of the last 10 years I've heard. And he has another one coming out. The first one's called Sugar Bowl, and it's just 10 tracks of pure rock enjoyment for sure. Good stuff in this book, funny stories, and I think you're going to enjoy it. KL Doty, who really captured the whole vibe of Jack and did a great job. Check it out. Update. I was totally wrong about Only Women Bleed not being a single by somebody else, because apparently somebody else recorded it, and it's just horrible. So when Sharon Osbourne said, "Oh no, that can't be released as a single because there's somebody else doing it," she was actually right, and it's just freaking awful. And it gets worse. God, I think still it was a mistake. Sharon should have put Lita's in there. Who gives a shit if somebody else had one? I mean, what does that matter, right? All right, well, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now, and I'm going to get out and enjoy some of the nice weather. Had a great time at the beach last week, and I hope you are having a good one, and I'll see you next time on my Heavy Metal Kitchen. Take care.